Welcome to Secret Identity. I'm your host, Troy Bruce Wayne, financing this motherfucking podcast. Bond. I almost said Birnbaum. That would have been.
Yeah. Ooh, someone's going through an inferiority complex.
Going through an inferiority complex with the boy wonder, Brent Birnbaum.
What up?
And she is sitting down, but she is in no wheelchair. It is Slater Harrison, the Oracle.
Prestige worldwide.
Boats and hoes.
There is today is probably our most requested thing ever to talk about. The most requested anything to talk about.
Yeah, I can't even come up with a joke because I'm a bad comic.
Gotta give the people what they want.
Because I'm a hack.
Batman the Animated Series debuting in 91?
91.
91 to
90. Oh, no, 92, I think.
92.
92
Not
to
too
90.
long after the Tim Burton movie.
Right, I think 92 to 95.
Yeah.
So they bring in Bruce Timm, who was an artist. He was a story editor. Was working on those because Spielberg went through this thing where he started producing all these animated shows. He produced Tiny Toons and the Animaniacs, and
there's one episode you could see one of the goons reading the Tiny Toons.
Yes.
Before Batman comes and
Exactly.
smashes them up.
Yeah.
You were watching that one. I forget which one it was, but
yeah.
there was this like
I think they're
WB
laughing.
crisis.
Exactly. There's another one where like Batgirl's like calls Batman. She's like, "What do we?" He's like, "What are we gonna do tonight?" She's like, "The same thing we do every night, Pinky." And he's like, "What?"
My favorite is like when they're trying. I think it was the Christmas with the Joker, and they were like, "You're gonna watch It's a Wonderful Life." He was like, I've never watched it. I can never get past the name." There's just so many like one-liners I like when you're a kid.
It's a fantastic movie. I don't have your money. Your money's in Bill's house, and his money's in Fred's house.
Sorry, I mean, get off track. But this is like when it landed for everybody. And what's the number one thing they told you in Spaceballs? Merchandise.
Merchandising,
This
baby.
hit the merchandise. Big. You had so many. Once Robin comes in, you see the merchandise episodes.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
If they scuba gear, or if they like have a motorcycle, or if they like need emergency bat shark repellent, that's all merchandise stuff. And that's the kid stuff. But like it was finally like Batman had a hit.
Well, exactly. And you made a great point about saying this was building off the Burton Batman, because prior to this, the Batman everyone was familiar with was Adam West.
Yeah.
He was goofy and silly and iconic.
And he was pissed that he didn't get cast as the Keaton Batman.
Right.
He was like, "I'm young enough to play him. I could play him. Why wouldn't you have me play him?" But like, it wasn't.
It would have been
It
ridiculous.
would have been ridiculous, and it would have been the Batman they were trying to go for there.
Exactly. And so they bring in Bruce Timm, who was an artist, he's a story editor, but he just has such a grasp on the character. He brings in, I think, Alan Burnett, of course, Paul Dini, who wrote so many of these episodes, the Andrea Romano, who I think was the casting director, and they made a point of going in a very different direction of that 60s Batman.
Which
Which is dark, which is brooding, which is a detective story. That's why, for instance, with the casting of the Riddler, they really wanted the Riddler to be a very cerebral character.
who played the Riddler the first time around?
It was Frank Gorshin played him.
Gorshin. Yeah.
Great.
Frank Ocean?
Frank Gorshin.
Not Frank
Gorshin.
Ocean.
Not Frank.
Okay.
Riddle me this. Do you think so far ahead, Batman? Riddle me that, because I've been thinking about forever.
So they made a point of going because Frank
You were
Gorshin.
so Joe Swanson just there. I don't even know.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Frank Ocean. I listen to his music all the time. He's
I think I'm going through some things.
Oh yeah, I love Frank Ocean. He's the one that did. He's the one that does Without Me, right? In Real Slim Shady. Big fan.
Huge.
Huge fan. Talk to me.
But who's the cast? One thing I was excited to talk to you about this one is like there's such a great voice cast in this,
So
and there's
good.
so many people that I know will go by the wayside that you'll know who it is, and I'm gonna be like, oh my god, that's like Rodney McDowell was the Mad Hatter, right?
And which we mentioned on Planet of the Apes episode.
We mentioned in the Planet of the Apes episode. There's got to be so many that I know are littered throughout so many episodes. And I even did some research just to find out how many just iconic Hollywood
Oh yeah.
starlets there were that were too old to be on the screen, and now we're getting some voiceover work. Even like,
Yeah,
look-
they like literally turned 35 and they're like, that's it, bitch.
well, like
You're old. You're a kid. Sorry. Them's the breaks, kid.
you know, the first one for that was Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
that was he was the first big turnaround.
45. Get out of town.
And even him, he
That
wasn't the
scar
first
on your
Joker. The
face.
first Joker was Tim Curry. They
Really?
screen tested Tim Curry, and then Tim Curry got really, really, really sick, and Tim Curry couldn't.
I had
be the
no
Joker.
idea. Wow.
So then it was Mark Hamill who stepped in and became the part. But Slater,
Love Tim Curry.
he was great, and I think it was sometime after it,
Uh-huh.
because that makes sense with the timeline, because it was like 91.
No, yeah,
This
it was like
yeah,
91.
I always forget he was that clown.
Yeah, it
Great.
was that clown, and he was going to be another one, and then they They had to expay it. But you had you've watched animated series a bunch before. You've caught episodes here and there, but this was like your first sort of like foyer dive into it. And I was kind of curious, like what you thought, what episodes you picked, and what your process was by picking episodes, because you didn't lean on the nerds who know everything. You kind of went and did your own Carmen Sandiego research, and I just wanted to hear your perspective.
It's weird. I'm looking at Slater's list, and it's just 5 Carmen Sandiego episodes.
Yeah, is that what we're talking
a
about?
little too literal.
Is that what we're talking about?
Where in the world?
Where in the world was I during this? No, I loved the show. I've seen a few episodes before. It was homework, you know. But yeah, it wasn't good. It was fantastic. You guys completely undersold it. The music, the pageantry. Wow. What a show.
Great other guy's reference.
No, but it really was, you know? It was
really
good.
like a morning talk show.
I know. And back to Heather with the weather.
It was it's the type of reference I would make. It was a very esoteric
I know,
reference.
but I've done a lot of morning TV, and I'm watching it right in front of me right now. This is me at like 9 o'clock in the morning. You got a cup of coffee. You got notes. You've got your hot with legs and with zins and a bottle of water and a PlayStation joint. He's Jewish. There's a lot happening.
I just want to listen to Jersey Boys now.
Jerry, baby.
but going into it, what was your thoughts this time around? Now that it was homework, what were your impressions?
Yeah. No. And now we're cutting to a squirrel that's water skiing. Isn't that cute?
Back to you, Kat.
I feel shocked. Okay, so my 5 episodes.
Yes.
My process behind it, super scientific. I Googled best episodes from the Batman animated series.
Not a bad way to do it.
And
You still got 5 Carmen Sandiego episodes.
Yeah. You know what? I've been flagged on Google, so I think it's just sending me to safer pastures. But I searched on Google, and then I went to Reddit because you got to get the people.
Right.
The people's choice. And then the last I
Quickly
picked.
stop by the Secret Identity subreddit, which apparently we have a subreddit.
We do?
Did you guys know that? Yeah. One of my friends was like, yeah, he goes, I can't believe you guys have a subreddit. I go, what do you mean we have a subreddit? He goes, you didn't know you had a subreddit?
Thirst traps? What's going on?
No,
my God,
it's very few members, but they're people. They're just like, I love this podcast, and they're like, they just post about our episodes.
It's just Brent's tasteful nudes all down the Reddit
Listen,
thread.
if you're watching this
Very tasteful.
and you're part of the subreddit, we love you, and we hope that we give you something tasteful and fruity every time you get into a new episode.
Yes,
Shout out to the dude who started the subreddit. Your name, I forgot who did it, but shout out to that guy.
You'll have to do a lot more to impress this guy, but
Lincoln something. It was his name was Lincoln.
Lincoln Abraham.
Yes.
407 beers ago, he started a subreddit for us. Continue. What were you saying?
Now thinking of Matthew McConaughey Lincoln commercials.
All right.
You want to feel this? You want to drive? I went on I went on Reddit, Google, and then I just looked at the thumbnail pictures and was like, that's pretty. So that's how I landed with my 5. Some crossed over with your choices, Brent.
Yeah, no, take it. I'm excited to hear.
And then I replaced, so we wouldn't step on each other's little toesies.
Cool.
Yeah, because we're morning show hosts now. We got to be cordial for the people.
Talk to me, babe.
So that's HR right there. 5 episodes. Did you want me to go through which ones I had? You want me to start this off, or you?
Yeah, why don't you start us off with your 5 episodes?
Yeah.
We'll go from.
We could go 1, 1, 1, or we could do all 5, all 5, all 5. I feel like to split up the visual.
We'll split it up. Yeah, let's start ladies first.
Yeah,
So Brent.
yeah, Brent. Pull up your skirt and tell us what you liked about this.
Wow.
Okay, so I'll start with my first one. Perchance to Dream.
Ooh, good one.
It was a good one.
That's the Mad Hatter one, right?
Yes. Very, you could compare it to any like Sopranos dream sequence.
Yeah.
Kind of vibe like that.
You're in that Benning.
But yeah, you guys.
I'm sorry.
That joke.
That's an 8-year joke.
That joke basically started this podcast. That
Dude.
joke kicked off our friendship.
The slow laugh that kept building between you two felt like so intimate that
Tony
I
and Sylvia
almost
when they're like doing the rock.
had to remove myself.
I know. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. If you guys want me to give you a minute, I so can.
No, I think
We were vibing before.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's working.
Yeah.
It's working.
Yeah.
I'm checking the screen.
It's twerking.
The vibes are working.
Vibes are immaculate. I don't even need to do a vibe check right now.
Yo,
The vibes ambassador has his checked off.
Ooh,
So it was the Mad Hatter episode.
perchance to dream. Yes, like a midsummer's night's dream. Yeah, he's like Batman's like in this delusional world, whatever. Which I thought was kind of funny because like it's everything.
Wait, he's never been Batman, right?
Yeah. And so his parents are alive. Like they're still all living together. That's weird.
Someone else
but-
be Batman.
yeah, he sees
It's a
someone
lot
else.
like that the Justice League episode for the Man Who Was Everything. Like,
Right, when-
yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah,
yes, and that's basically what this one was about. Like Batman had everything, and he was like still missing, a piece of him.
Yeah,
or
and I
something.
think the therapist had made a point about
Yeah,
it.
it was like you had everything.
Yeah.
You have your parents;
Yeah.
they're not dead. You know, you have this, you have that.
great
you have
episode.
All this stuff, and then one look at the newspaper, and he's got dyslexia, and who knows it's fake.
Do you know what I love about that is the Batman reveal.
Oh yes, yes.
What's
when
the
he
reveal?
when he takes off the mask.
Yeah, like when because he Batman exists in this universe. He's like, how could there be a Batman? I'm Batman, but I'm only Bruce Wayne. And he sees Batman. And he takes off the mask, and who is it?
The Mad Hatter.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then it's still a
okay.
dream, though.
Yeah.
So it was like a double twist. It was a double entendre twist.
One of them.
Yeah, it
That's
was
a great
intense.
choice. Yeah, I
Who
love
was
that.
the Mad Hatter? It was Roddy McDowell.
It was Roddy McDowell, and he like when Roddy McDowell's like Batman's like, why would you do this to me? He goes, and Mad Hatter's like, you took away everything I ever wanted.
Right,
He goes,
yeah.
I figured if I gave you everything you ever wanted, you would just leave me alone.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. I love when you could see what Batman rogues and Spider-Man rogues are so good at is you see the hero trying so hard to appeal to their humanity, which I think you
Yeah.
see a lot in that Mad Hatter episode toward the
Yeah,
end.
yeah.
Because he's the one in Mad Hatter's position for once. He's the crazy one trying to figure out why
Yeah.
his life isn't
And
puzzle
even,
piecing.
Yeah, even when it was like explained to him via like fucking the Inception monologue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, no, I can get out of this, and jumped off the building like the freaking wife in Inception, but she did. So that he woke up and then he realized he's like part of the Mad Hatter's experience or experiment. And then I thought it was interesting though, because the way he realized that because he felt a little off like the first half of the episode, and then the way he realized it was the newspaper and the books and all that stuff, and he's like, I know, because the right side of your brain is what makes you be able to like read, and like since he can't read, he knows it's the left side, so that's how he knew it was a dream. I'm like, whoa, smart.
Years later, they
Smart bat.
simplified it in Batman Beyond when Terry was like, how did you know that guy inside your brain, how did you know it wasn't you? He's like, because he kept calling me Bruce. And he's like, and that's not what I call myself. Meaning, what do you call yourself
Big
when
Daddy.
you're talking to yourself? Big Daddy.
You got this, Big Daddy.
As long as it's
You're
not
richer than
puff.
everyone.
But what was the Tim Denis verse?
You got a 9-inch slong. Superman's got nothing on you.
His weakness is blue chew. You're gonna need something else to get it up, Kryptonian. It doesn't take
Do it
much,
fast.
does it?
Just the tip.
Just a tip. What was it like a 15-year universe they had between
Basically,
the animated
yeah.
series and Justice League?
From 2002 to 2006.
And
yeah.
it really ends with epilogue.
Yeah.
Which we
And then we got the other
covered.
season
Then
afterwards.
we got the
but,
other season afterwards.
It should have
but-
ended with epilogue, though.
Yeah. But great episode. I love
awesome
the
Yeah,
choice.
well, the last line when he leaves, because Gordon's there, and he's like, "What is this?" Like the little contraption he was on. He's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
"The
yeah.
stuff dreams are made of." I was like, "Way to end
It's the
it!"
stuff dreams are made of.
Yeah, I was like, "What is this?"
Jim Gordon's got such a I don't give a fuck that Bruce Wayne is Batman vibe in this show because there's a clown trying to copyright fish. Why
Yeah.
isn't the government helping
my
me
gosh.
buy?
That's a great episode.
Yeah, the laughing fish. That's one of my top
That's
five.
one of hers, yeah.
Oh, baby, I love that.
It's also called your mom's vagina.
yeah.
Yeah.
Brenty, your episode.
Ooh.
What would be your next episode?
I'm going to go with the gray.
Unless you had anything else you wanted to
Hold
add with
up.
yours later.
Nope.
I'm going to go with the gray ghost.
We were just talking about that. We were
Yeah.
just talking about the Grey Ghost. Talk to me about the Grey Ghost.
Give me that GG.
It's such a because we started off this episode by talking about how they wanted to distance themselves from the Adam West show, but they did such a great job of paying homage to Adam West. And so the Grey Ghost was a TV show that in universe Bruce watched growing up. About it was like the show is so anachronistic. I have no idea when it takes place. The 90s, the 30s. There are many.
There's
many
the
options.
90s, the 30s. There's many timelines in which the zeitgeist could be captured. I think it more or less is his version of Zorro.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, no, totally.
They couldn't do Zorro.
They couldn't do
obviously,
Zorro because they didn't have the rights.
They go, boom, let's do Grey Ghost.
Yeah, and it's
Pizza's a G.
and it does a great job. It's a great character study into this. Adam West is kind of playing himself. He's a guy who's faded. His fame's gone. People have forgotten about who the Grey Ghost is. The show is out of syndication, and he's struggling to pay his rent. And then all of a sudden, there is a villain who's a mad bomber who's bombing places all over Gotham, and he's using the same MO as an episode of The Grey Ghost.
Right.
And Batman remembers that from watching it, and he tries to get the actor played by Adam West to help him. And he's like, I'm out of the... He goes, I'm not really a hero. I'm just an actor.
Which is kind of a weird thing to do. You
Yeah.
know, like, imagine there's like somebody going around robbing banks and we knock on Christian Bale's door. We're like, hey, man, do you think you could go to Hong Kong with us real quick and subvert a whole bunch of laws? And
I'm getting my eyeball removed.
I'm going to play another bad Marvel
That is a
villain.
good point. Yeah, like what?
As a billionaire, that's the only time you'd be able to do that. There was some kind of like appearance fee thing.
It is a great point. If anything, he should have gone after the writer who wrote the episode. Why did he go after the actor?
Why did he go after the guy who was like, it's like going after Shatner to figure out space crimes. He was like, I was wearing a girdle, and that guy was a Mexican in a lizard suit.
Didn't he go to
Let's just see
space?
the same.
He went to space,
He went to space
and he
and he
came
was
back depressed as
disappointed.
fuck.
What Shatner did?
Yeah, he
Space kept his law.
He went to
Love it,
space
Clark.
and then he came back down and he was like, I just saw how insignificant our lives are and why any of us live. I'm not really quite sure why.
Yo.
And like everybody's like, let's keep going to space.
They're like, take off your Star Trek outfit. It's over.
He always gets like bad rep for people trying to like take pictures with him and like say he's an asshole. But he was like, I was in the middle of a meal. I'm not gonna take a picture with you. I'm eating.
Denny Crane.
But he's 92.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn. way
Yeah.
to
His
live.
wife like
Proud
died.
member of the tribe.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Him and Spock.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Yeah. R.I.P.
Wow.
Fucked up Spock's Leonard Nimoy's last tweet was, I've lived a beautiful life. The one regret is I wish I never smoked.
Yeah.
And he died of lung cancer.
Are you serious?
Yeah, but he was like 92.
Wow.
He was up there.
Well,
He might have been
made it.
younger.
He was a little yeah, but yeah, he was in his 80s.
That's
like,
pretty
It was in
old
his- yeah.
for smoking all the time.
Yeah, and like all those Star Trek people never really did it. I mean, Shatner did T.J. Hooker.
Right. Danny Crane.
Yeah, Danny Crane. I guess the next gen people got a lot. LeVar Burton had Reading Rainbow and
Patrick Stewart, obviously.
Patrick Stewart had
Stewart.
Oblivion of stuff. But yeah, there's just something about Shatner, the guy knowing for space being the final frontier, going to the final frontier and going, there's nothing. There's no point to life.
Still
Like the
handled it
show.
better than Katy Perry, though.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I kissed a girl and I liked it. She was blue.
I kissed the ground.
Of all the girls I've ever kissed, she was the most human.
Her chapstick was delicious.
Come on! But yeah, Grey Ghost, awesome episode. And then the poor silly writing choices notwithstanding, it's awesome when they catch the guy who's the Mad Bomber. He was the guy who was buying the Grey Ghost toys. It was just like goes insane. And then because the Grey Ghost actor helps Batman solve this crime, there's a renewed popularity like in the Grey Ghost. And the final moment is great. Bruce asks for his autograph and he goes, "You're my hero growing up." And as he leaves, he goes, "You still are."
Yeah, that
Aw.
is beautiful.
They really crush it with the last lines.
They do. They with the last line and then the blackout and then the Batman silhouette with the da-da-da-da-da. It's so great how it's just nothing's left. That's why you were gonna watch Robin's Reckoning and I was like, that's a two-parter. The two-parters are like little movies.
Yeah.
And they do such a great job with them where I was like, watch a half-hour one better. Because even the half-hour ones are 22 minutes, however long they are, they're still like their own thing. You watch it and you're just like, how did you, I guess, growing up with the West, growing up with the comics, a lot of this is comic inspired. Although it's weird because you have such iconic characters like Harley Quinn, who was never in the comics, but was created for this show to make. Because at the time, there was a big... Bullock was another one. But Harley Quinn was created because at the time, everybody was like... starting to look kind of gay that the Joker's this obsessed with Batman. So they were like, let's give him a girlfriend and let him beat the shit out of her.
You want to know why I take it up the ass?
I was convicted.
He just like backhands her. Like, he just doesn't care.
Yeah.
Like, she's just like freaking, oh, my pudding.
Yeah. Mr. J.
Mr. J.
Topping is too quick. You never get to enjoy sex.
I had this
What are we
battering up
doing,
my
boss?
ass for 5 years.
5 years. Here you go, little man. Give it to you.
The episode that I got, Deep Freeze, Season 2, Episode 10.
Season 2, Episode 10.
Season 2, Episode 10. Paul Denis, written by, directed by Kevin Altieri, who did a good chunk of the episodes from this series. And this one was where Mr. Freeze returns and he's kidnapped from a cryogenic prison by this mysterious group who, when Batman discovers that the culprits are linked to Grant Walker, who is basically Walt Disney and is a megalomaniac obsessed with immortality.
Okay.
And Walker idolizes Mr. Freeze, wants to replicate the suit Mr. Freeze has, which keeps him alive forever. But Mr. Freeze sort of loathes the suit because as long as he's alive, his wife stays dead, and he can't figure out a cure to keep the cancer she has.
Yeah.
And
I don't know if they ever say cancer.
Yeah, she's got some sickness.
It's heavily implied.
Heavily implied cancer. Yes, Brian. Of course, Neil Armstrong. But it wasn't just about living longer. Walker also wanted to have like this weird utopia where he could rule this frozen future completely unchallenged. It's like that Family Guy cutscene where they froze Walt Disney and they unfreeze him and they're like, "Welcome to the future, Walt Disney." And you're like, "Are you still gone yet?" And they're like, "No." And they're like, "Put me back in."
Great, a Disney universe.
He wants to become this godlike figure, which that's when Freeze is like, "I really want nothing to do with you." But then he starts complying with him once he realizes that Walker took his wife. And he's like, if you help me, we'll find a cure for your wife. Batman steps in and he has to form this uneasy alliance with Mr. Freeze to stop this apocalyptic plan to freeze Gotham. And there's this was like the moment where Mr. Freeze became a cool Batman villain. The way I see it, you had literally, he was chill. Because you had.
I'm holding back.
I know, I see it.
I've got a Mr. Freeze episode, so I'm saving it for that.
Okay.
I just want you to know how much self-restraint I'm showing here.
I feel it.
Really holding back his shorts.
I feel it from here.
The obsession with love and obsession versus love is like a theme that runs through Batman, right? Like, are his villains obsessed with him, or is he obsessed with his villains? Is he obsessed with crime fighting? This one is more or less, you're looking at the obsession of the antagonists, which are Mr. Freeze and Walker, which Walker wants to be this weird, crazy ruler in the future, and Freeze just wants to get his life back and his wife back, and lives in this shell and can't do anything, and it's like a living hell, kind of like a Stephen Hawking if he didn't go to No Island.
Well, that's the great thing they do with him in the new Batman Adventures, when they, like, after Sub-Zero and they finally heal Nora. It's like, well, where do you go from there? And they chop his head off. They just make him they make him a head.
He has
no body.
Yeah, he has no, just like Akon. There was, like I said, Grant Walker was supposed to be Walt Disney, and he's voiced by Daniel O'Harely, who played the old man CEO in RoboCop.
Oh,
the guy who's sitting round table when they're all getting.
Look at
when
you
that
with
guy
the
gets shot
fun
up.
facts.
It's a spiritual sequel to the Emmy Award-winning the episode Heart of Ice,
which is on my list.
That's on your list. So this is a sequel to your episode that you're going to talk about.
Nice.
And Mr. Freeze was supposed to die in this episode, but Bruce Timm and Paul Denis decided that having his fate ambiguous would pave the way for his later appearances, like the episode in Batman Beyond, ironically named Meltdown. And the underwater
great
scene,
episode too.
Great episode. And the setting of Oceania and its failed utopia is influenced by there's a science fiction classic, BioShock, or Metropolis. I almost said Metropolis.
Metro Shock.
Metropolis and 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. But like, it left it legacy wise. Deep Freeze made people look at Victor Von Freeze and not Mr. Freeze as a one-hit wonder villain. You know, he wasn't really a guy they could slide it in the 60s. I don't think the technology was there. And his success, the success of the appearance of him in that led to the Schumacher appearance in those movies, which then they butchered everything that was great about his character.
It's so true.
But the episode did help define the animated series as a book capable of blending lore, comic, and not just comic lore, science fiction lore too. Because Mr. Freeze is kind of science fiction-y as much as he literally has a freeze ray gun. And his
he's essentially a new character. I mean, he's existed for years, but and I'll get to this when I talk about Heart of Ice. They completely changed the entire dynamic of Mr. Freeze.
Right.
Like, he became prior to that, the coolest Cold character in DC was Captain Cold.
Captain Gun, that's a Flash villain, right?
He's a Flash villain. He's a great villain because he's like, I don't want to fight the Flash. I got an ulcer. Like
that.
my
Exactly.
gosh.
Yeah.
Really?
And the one final moment I wanted to bring up about this episode was I just thought it just encapsulated everything about the DCAU. In the final moment, Mr. Freeze is gazing upon his frozen wife, and the world is collapsing around him like everything's just falling. And it's one of the most emotionally visual shots in the entirety of the DCAU. In the early episodes of Batman the Animated Series, this is like 92, 93. No cartoon was doing it like this one, and I think that's why it stands every test of time that you put it up against.
There's a reason IGN listed this as the greatest cartoon of all time.
Yeah,
like
they're not run by a bunch of dumb monkeys on unicycles.
Dude, it won like 4 Emmys.
Yeah,
like that's crazy.
When they say greatest cartoon, this is including The Simpsons, including South Park.
Yeah.
I mean, BoJack makes a case, but like,
I would put this above all of them because all 3 seasons are just as good. And there's a lot of complaints about the New Adventures of Batman and Robin or the 3rd season, whichever one where they did the redesigns.
I loved it.
I loved it too. Those ones are still so great. And I on record saying I'd say this, Simpsons, BoJack for me 1, 2, 3.
I agree. Yeah. I think that I have the same 3 because you got to give the Simpsons love.
Yeah,
like, there's no BoJack without the Simpsons.
There's no cartoon without the Simpsons.
And Trey and Matt will say that. They're like as much as they shit on Family Guy with the manatees, they're like, we love the Simpsons.
And I love South Park. South Park would probably be 4.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I get a lot of shit for this, but Family Guy would be 5 for
Family
me.
Guy when Family Guy was good was great.
Yeah, I love it.
Like, I love Family Guy. Family Guy is when I need to just laugh or not think about anything, Family Guy's right there. And
I mean, a boat's a boat, but a mystery box could be anything. It could even be a boat.
There's just some dumb jokes that work, and like American Dad, you could argue is far superior.
Yeah.
But family jokes like that and Family Guy will kill it for me.
is
Or like
so
the frog when he's
good.
trying to get it out the window with the box. That like 3-minute gag, and then like 20 years later they did it where a frog is trying to get Peter out of the window.
No,
my
that's
God.
like the chicken fight.
Yeah,
Like,
the chicken fights. Like I'm playing the video game right now for PS2, and Stewie has to like jump on a bunch of pregnant women.
The video game is great.
I'm playing it right now, and like it's so great. It's so great. But this arguably best cartoon.
Oh,
ever.
yeah.
What would you say your next episode is?
Joker's favor.
Joker's favor. That's
Oh,
a
I
great
love
one.
that one.
Dude,
Poor guy.
Charlie
Charlie.
Collins.
That guy, Charlie had it rough.
Charlie had it rough.
What was Charlie's situation in this
So
episode?
sorry, Charlie. He was in a fit of road rage.
Yeah.
And I was like thinking, because when I drive, dude, I get crazy road rage. And I would totally cut off the Joker and then be like, shit.
Yeah.
Now I'm-
He's like, this is gonna be the one time I'm not a pushover. This is gonna be the one time I stand up for myself. Oh my God, it's the Joker.
Yo, so funny. And then he's starting it like he's just complaining, bad day at work, I can't do anything right. And what is she making for dinner? Meatloaf. And then they call it back at the end of the episode. He's like, I wonder
hope
what's
it's
for dinner. I hope it's meatloaf.
Because meatloaf is delicious.
At that point, anything is delicious. If you've been terrorized by the Joker for 2 years, a box of giraffe shit with termites inside
There
of it.
was there was nothing off the menu for this guy. He moved, he changed his name.
Charged so much.
But I
and he could
won't
not-
do
Dude, that guy's a
that.
fucking legend in that
Oh my
episode, though,
god!
at the end.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
he
yeah,
was-
yeah, with the bomb.
Oh,
Yo, my
God.
gosh, yeah, and it's a fake bomb, and he's like, "Gotcha, bitch."
He's like, no final confrontation with Batman. You go out in the alley, just you and me.
Yeah.
Yo, it was so freaking good. Yeah, he got a spine by the end, but I just love that he changed his name to Don Watts.
Yeah.
Like he was like trying to be a part of Mad Men or something.
I love
like,
when the Joker is at the end being like, don't you think there'll be anybody coming out from Batman? People like, you have to think about this real quick before Batman comes and does something.
Dude, Mark Hamill crushed it.
Killed it.
It's
That
his
one
first
voice.
appearance, I think.
Yeah, as the Joker.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was-
actually, I think it was Christmas with the Joker.
Oh, maybe it was.
It
Christmas.
was-
That's where it's like jingle bells, Batman smells,
Oh,
Robin
yeah.
lays an egg.
He's just so good at like capturing the whimsical like childhood kind
Yes.
of like
Yeah.
tone. Like
Yeah.
he just like crushes that.
But still terrifying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
like the voice you would read Joker.
It's like a-
Exactly. Just like same with Kevin Conroy. Like,
Yeah.
and that's why the moment in Batman Beyond is so earned because we've gotten to know this guy for so long and we understand how we can get to that moment.
Yeah.
When he tortures and
right,
basically
right.
yeah with Tim
Yeah.
Drake,
Yeah,
who was
he's-
really Jason Todd. But
Yes.
Jason Todd. Yeah, Joker's like a freaking doll, you know? Like he's so childlike, but it's kind of creepy.
He is.
like,
It's
you're like,
weird.
this feels weird.
It's weird as an audience member to see him not in control.
Yeah.
Like how everything sort of unraveled for him at the end of that episode.
yeah.
it's so
Well,
true. Wow, that's such a good point.
You know, like where he had the cake and the plan and he had the glue, and then when that's all gone, you're just sort of that's when you're really
Then
like,
you're-
like him in The Dark Knight.
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
When the boats aren't going
Yeah,
off.
exactly.
Yeah.
And you see that it's such an unbelievable acting by Heath Ledger. Like it's just
Yeah.
like you see in his face, he doesn't even have to say it, and you just hear Batman saying like, "What do you want to prove? Everyone is deep down as ugly as
Yeah,
you."
yeah.
And he knows that he's wrong.
That he's wrong. Yeah, it's a rough moment.
It's a rough moment.
Well, for that character,
Yeah.
because
No,
like,
I know.
You
It's
sort of
just-
watch the Joker like a hero. You forget he's a villain because
Yeah.
he's so interesting and
He's
you
riveting.
want, he's riveting, and you want him to win. And then when he's literally cowering to not even Batman, but to just some guy named Don Watts, it's hilarious.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, and then Joker sees him and he's like, "Oh, it looks like you've lost a couple pounds and some hair." like he can never give a full compliment either. Like it's always a backhanded fucking
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Well, what do you
But-
know? I can't eat and my hair is falling out because literally a
It's your
psychopath
fault.
is trying has my ID.
Dude, yeah, and his license, he's calling him
Yeah.
out on it. He's like, "Oh, yes, address, height, weight, all the things, blah, blah, blah." And then you look at the height and weight.
Oh,
I'm like,
you're an
first of
organ
all-
donor.
Yeah, I'm like, they don't have from Hawaii, Muhammad. Yeah, chopping at the
Why the
bit.
fuck would it be between that or Muhammad? Could you just choose a normal last name? Muhammad is the most common name on earth. Read a freaking book for once.
Oh my god! But I was like, wait, they don't have weight on licenses. That would be crazy. You have
They
your
don't?
height and your eye color,
Right.
but not your weight. And then they showed it. They said that our boy Charlie was 5'10" and 180 pounds. So he was a big guy,
yeah, that's not too good.
right? Yeah, the ratio. Yeah, he should have had him running longer from him. But, all right.
He's doing all right for himself.
Yeah, Brent's like, I see him.
Charlie's
in me.
doing
Yeah,
fine.
Charlie's doing all right. Listen,
Charlie's
Charlie's
doing
got a
okay.
lot going on in his life.
Hey, it's Dawn.
We'll give
Sure,
Don a
Charlie.
break.
You know,
He's the boss now.
Charlie's having difficulty finding time to work out. He's got
Yeah.
a day job. He's a stand-up.
He's at
got
the
a
chocolate
podcast.
factory.
You know, sometimes it's not
And he's
easy. for-
being stalked by a clown at 3 in the
yeah.
morning who sends him ideas for podcast episodes. Mr. Birnbaum, or did you have any other notes
no,
on
that
that
was
episode?
it.
Did we cover that? Yeah, I love that episode.
Yeah,
was
that's
really
a great
good.
one.
That's a really good one. What was your episode next?
Let's keep with the Mr. Freeze vibe. Let's go Heart of Ice.
Let's stay with the freeze. Heart of Ice.
This
Why'd
is-
you pick Heart of Ice?
I feel like this is the episode where the show really kind of announced, like, hey, we're here. Like, this is
Yeah.
the shit. Because this is the one that won the Emmy. This is Paul Dini really saying, like, hey, like, I'm pretty good at this. Like, because again, they took this character, Mr. Freeze, who was like not even a B-list villain. This guy was a D-list villain. No one cared about Mr. Freeze. And they completely changed him. They introduced Nora, this idea that his wife was dying and he was trying to keep her alive. And this greedy industrialist, like, was like, you can't use my technology for this. Causes the accident that turns him into Mr. Freeze. Like, and then it's all about, like, he's got this righteous rage. So, like, even though he's like, what he's doing again is very wrong. He's trying to get to this industrialist and ruin his life. And in doing so, he'll murder a bunch of innocent people in this building. He's kind of like, the ends justify the means, but you also understand his anger.
Yeah.
As they do with every rogue intro in this series.
Yeah.
Like Selena,
When I get to the Riddler, that's a big
the
part
Riddler,
of it too.
that's a big thing with Selena Kyle's. It's her crusade against the cruelty of animals with Poison Ivy. It's them destroying the environment in Gotham with Ra's al Ghul with Harvey Dent. It's him trying to fight the mob and him getting blown in half and him being kind of crooked. Like, they do a very good job at showing you why these guys get out of jail. Like, they probably rehabilitate criminals in this show more than they do in any other Batman series. Like,
or the real world.
Or the real world. But, like, they always end up crazier back in because they have to, because that's what sells the toys. But Heart of Ice, to me, I think would be, that's sort of like the Bane in the Dark Knight Rises of Mr. Freeze appearances. Like that's his baseline. That's what everybody knows him as now.
Yeah.
Now he's like that's who Victor Freeze is always going to be. And though there were there were no issues with Victor Freeze the way there were with Bane, but that's the
Because people don't know what they're talking about.
People didn't enjoy that.
People are fools.
And like what I say to that is, if you're upset about the sound design in a Christopher Nolan movie, then you haven't been watching a lot of Christopher fucking Nolan movies, because that's all of his fucking movies.
Seriously.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, he doesn't even use like CGI really.
No,
either.
he's
like,
shooting.
He's just using freaking like fans with a little like tinsel on it.
Yeah,
to make
and like
fire. And
he's a
shit.
visionary for a reason, just like Paul. And he has that like, oh, I'm good at this.
Yeah.
And same way Paul Denis has that, I'm good at this, and then
Bro, the Prestige?
yeah,
Oh
you
my
know,
gosh,
like
yeah,
you can't
dude.
beat it. To do a run like he did, and still keep doing,
Yeah.
you know, like how many Oppenheimer was a cinematic event. You know,
Absolutely.
the Odyssey will
Odyssey's gonna be amazing.
when that comes
Yeah.
out, where he's shooting that. You know, there's nothing that guy can't do. But to your point of Heart of Ice, great episode. I love Heart of Ice, one of the best.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. It was really introducing this very sympathetic villain. Also, Alfred really gets to shine there. That's where Bruce is coming down with the cold.
Yes.
And he goes, I got something for you. He goes, what is it? He goes, is it like a special medicine? He goes, the best kind to treat a cold, chicken soup. And that's what he uses to beat Mr. Freeze.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
That's cute. Look
Alfred-
at him.
What am I supposed to do with this? It's delicious. I'm not going to be a villain anymore because this soup is so good. Maria, please start a soup company with me. I love you so much, Maria. Did you see what our son was doing on the White Lotus? He fucked his brother.
Oh, that's
He was
scene.
holding that back
was.
for 43 minutes.
It's like having a fart that like.
Yeah, I was waiting for it to rip. You did it.
Oh God! Now I can relax.
My next episode, I would say, is my favorite episode of all time. It's Almost Got Him.
That was on my list too.
That was
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No,
All right.
that's good. That's good.
compare.
No,
We
yeah,
could
please,
talk.
yeah.
Let's compare notes.
I think this is the best episode of the show.
I think it's the best
Yeah.
episode as well, too.
I had it on my. Oh no, I didn't.
No, thank God.
But I saw that Brent had
no,
it
again,
on
that's a
his.
Carmen. That's another Carmen Sandiego.
yeah.
It's where he meets Dora the Explorer.
What in the world?
This one is starring Joker, Penguin, Two-Face, Poison Ivy, and Killer Croc while they're at a poker table in Gotham. And they're 5 of the Batman's deadliest enemies, and they're at a game of cards taking a trip down memory lane, and they're each taking personal recounts of how they almost succeeded in killing the Dark Knight. Poison Ivy talks about a Halloween trap involving poison pumpkins. Two-Face details a giant penny scheme. I'm trying not to laugh because of Killer Croc. Two-Face he just goes, I'm just going to get to it. Killer Croc is like telling the story and he's like getting so close, and then he's like, and then I threw a rock at him. And they all, just a shot where they all just look at him, and then the Joker goes, anyway.
Yeah, it was a big rock.
It was a big rock.
Oh my.
Yeah. Yeah.
As opposed to Harvey Dent's brilliant scheme of throwing a giant penny
When
at
they
him.
threw a penny at him, the Penguin unleashed a whole bunch of killer birds in a death trap, and the Joker tells a tale of involving a deadly TV game show with electric chairs and Catwoman. But there's a twist where one of the villains at the table is not who they say they see, who they seem. Killer Croc is revealed to be Batman in disguise, and he infiltrated the game to find the whereabouts of Catwoman, who Joker kidnapped. Batman rescues her in a climactic warehouse fight. This is
Great
like
Catwoman Harley Quinn scene there.
which is
Well, it's just like Harley's the one who has Catwoman tied up, and she's like, I gotta wait for the go ahead from Mr. J.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, like the blend of comedy and tension in this, I think, is why it's my favorite episode. It's just so good, and it's also so cool to be told from a villain's perspective. And like all of them could be lying, they all could be telling the truth. You really don't know. It's like what we talked about in The Killing Joke. And it's Batman's mythos through the point of view of each of his villains. You know, they're all going to see him in a different light, and it's all as cool as Rogues talking about it, and
seeing how they interact with one another, like seeing Two-Face interact with Poison Ivy.
Yeah. I think the Joker had a great line where he's like, "Ladies first, and since there are none here, we'll let Poison Ivy go." Like
I was like you at the beginning of this episode.
Yeah, basically.
It was in the mind.
It was inspired by a Golden Age comic in Detective Comics 180 in 1952 called The Secret Lives of Batman Villains, which also featured rogues comparing their stories. The giant penny from this episode would go on to be the one that's in the Batcave all the time. The Joker's game show is modeled after the 1950s live television set with the cheesy theme music and like the Merv Griffin show.
Yeah.
You know, that's sort of what it looked like. It's one of the few episodes where Batman impersonates a villain rather than a hero, which, you know, shows it's like one of his underlying skills as being a master of disguise. And Catwoman's role in this adds that she's not really a villain in this show. Season 3, she kind of is.
She's never really a villain. She's always kind of serves that anti-hero role.
Yeah, and that romantic tension shows in this episode how far he'll go to protect her, because he's sitting with the villains for a long time to make sure that she's kind of okay.
Well, she's the closest thing he's ever had to a love interest.
Agreed. Yeah. Unless you count any of the Robins, which we will not. That would be
I wish I never met Bruce Wayne.
Shadow of the Bat, which is first appearance of Batgirl. It's a 2-part episode with Barbara Gordon as Batgirl, setting up her step into Gotham's vigilante world. And it's when Commissioner Gordon gets arrested. He is accused of turning his body camera. No, I'm sorry. Accused of accepting bribes from Rupert Thorne. Rupert, not Rupert Thorne. Oh, you got some dirty money.
Where's Rupert Thorne?
No, I didn't take any money from Rupert. I'm a straight cop. I know who I am. I'm a straight cop. You'll never find me at a gay cop bar. I'm straight Rupert Thorne. Straight Rupert Gordon.
That's Rupert right there. It's Darth Vader.
Yeah. Here's Rupert. If you breathe, can you hear him?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, breathing.
Be careful not to choke on your Build-A-Bear.
Oh, yes. 3 new episodes to end all tonight. It's the finale.
Yes,
oh,
it
shit.
is.
Are you caught up?
I'm not.
Oh.
I know. I've been watching the next, but I'm loving it.
I got
I'm literally on the second episode and I'm loving it.
My brother, I got 3 episodes left. This is a big night. Oh, shit. Oh, sorry. Oh,
We gotta hurry up now.
You gotta hurry up.
I was watching that German show about sci-fi, Dark.
Oh, yeah. I thought you meant Andor.
Great.
And then, anyway, I love Batgirl. Great introduction to Batgirl.
Absolutely.
That one's, everyone thinks that Batgirl just joined the Bat family, but really it was Batman wouldn't show up because it would have looked weird if Gordon was guilty. So she was like, if you showed up and people saw, it was like a Joe Paterno thing. But like,
It was the
Joe
only
Paterno
time in
was
history where showing up with a little girl was the good move.
yes.
Important.
Yeah, I thought the Joe Paterno thing was going to be the weird thing out of that sentence. Woo!
Don't worry, I got your back.
Thank you, baby. Yeah. And then my favorite episode of the 3rd series, and I think the most emotional one we've talked about at length, Old Wounds.
Love it.
I think the best episode, sort of like, I look at it as like the last episode of the series. But let's dive into it. What is Old Wounds? Because we had a sudden replacement. No more Dick Grayson. Nightwing pops in at the end of one episode in an early season.
Pops in at the end of the second
when he goes,
episode,
there's 3 rules. Rule number 1, I forget. And rule number 3, I make the rules. And then he's like, careful with that 3rd one, kid. That's what I had a problem with. And you're like, why does Nightwing have a mullet?
And they do it so well when he enters the scene, because you see the different reactions for people. Like, you see Bruce is surprised.
Right.
Like, happy, but also
Because the last he saw him, he got his ass knocked out.
exactly kind of confused.
Mama said, knock you
Barbara's
out.
so excited.
Barbara's more than excited.
Yeah. And Alfred's thrilled.
Alfred's
like,
thrilled.
this is my son.
That's his boy. Yeah. And it's a great one of Nightwing's. I think why people love Nightwing so much is because he's there with you in the moment, and if you come to him, he'll always be there. And he's not brooding like Batman. He doesn't use you like
He's Batman by way of Peter Parker.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
I like
he's-
Nightwing.
Everyone
That's a good
loves
book.
Nightwing.
Yeah.
I don't think that
Yeah.
there's anything you could really hate about him in this. And in this episode, it's Tim Drake sort of being frustrated with having to live with his parents, who is fucking Batman and is a militant, is training to be a child soldier, and you're learning what the fallout was between Nightwing and Batman, which was
No, it's a great scene because the episode it's Dick talking to Tim, his successor, about what led to this fallout, and because Dick will never tell Tim what happened, Bruce will never tell him, and Dick finally lets him know what happened, and there was a night where they were stalking the Joker, and the Joker got away, and Bruce really was showing no boundaries with Dick. Dick really, it was his college graduation. Batman, instead of attending, Batman instead of.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I need to be able to say this guy's name.
No, I know. No, you could say it. We're past the
Okay.
point. Like we're past after 30 minutes. You could say Dick.
Okay,
No
perfect.
boundaries with Dick. Just want
Dick is good after
Dick is
30.
good.
Yeah, Brent.
Dick is fantastic.
Someone say Dick. Oh, it was me.
Yo, I waited for. You think I was waiting long to do Schwarzenegger? This one's been building out for longer.
That's a smelly one.
Who's that guy in Mr. Miracle that I was like, this is just your
A Funky Flashman, which is just Stan Lee.
Oh my gosh. Yo, carbon copy.
Yeah, no. But yes.
But this is told through. He's narrating it.
Yeah, Dick is the narrator, and for all we know, he's a little bit of an unreliable narrator. But we also understand where Dick's coming from. He's 22 years old at the time. He's graduating from college. He wants to.
Which Bruce did not show up to.
Bruce did not show up to, and he just wants to spend the night with Barbara. And Bruce makes him go out, skip his college graduation party to go after the Joker. And after all of this, they end up stalking one of the Joker's henchmen to his home. And you see him there with his wife and with his kid. And Bruce starts, as Batman, goes in and he...
In front of the kid.
In front of the kid and throws him against a wall. And Dick's like...
Kid is shocked.
Yeah.
He sees the reaction, and then he's like, "I'm out. Bye.
Yeah,
you do this by
because
yourself."
he says to Batman, he goes, "Not here," and Batman's like, "The sooner he talks, the sooner we leave."
Yeah.
And Dick's like, "I'm leaving
That's
now."
not how we're doing. Yeah.
And soon
That's not how we do business.
and they
Yeah.
eventually find the Joker, and that's when Barbara is working with Bruce because Dick doesn't want to have anything to do with him, and Dick figures out that Barbara is Batgirl, and he just is livid
He's
with
livid
Bruce.
that Bruce kept that from him.
So true. He's like, are you kidding me? It's not enough that you're ruining my life. You're ruining hers.
Yeah.
And he's kind of taking away Barbara's agency there.
He is, and because again, why I wanted to mention the Batgirl episode was because it was her choice to suit up and to do this both for her dad and for Gotham and for her dad is the commissioner of the police, meaning she's had to see him come home all the time, not knowing if he even would come home, and to your point, taking away her regency.
Yeah.
This was her choice.
This was her choice, exactly. And she says that to him. She goes, "This was my choice." And Dick goes, "Hey, you think it was your choice? He manipulated you. That's what he does. He manipulates people." And Bruce goes, "I thought we had the same goals." And he goes, "Things change, man." And Bruce puts a hand on Dick's shoulder, almost as like a fatherly thing, like, "Hey," and Dick
Clocks
punches
him.
him. And you realize it wasn't the Barbara thing that was the straw that broke the camel's back.
No, it was the punch.
It was with the kid. But it was,
Oh, the kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the punching of the kid. that really did.
I knew it was the punch.
Well, also Batman let him punch him.
He did.
He straight up let him punch him.
Well, I think Batman knew he was kind of in the wrong for interrogating the guy in front of his family.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
he's
then
like,
he's
"I'll
the kid
take
in the
it."
alley
Yeah.
again,
Take it on the chin.
And that's where the story ends. And Tim's like, "And that's it." And he goes, "And you never made up." And Dick's like, "Why would I? Bruce would never change." And that's when we get the great full circle moment. Over to you, baby.
Wait, the what?
The
Like
great-
how the episode ends.
Which is
Which is that, like, they end up going into Wayne Enterprises, and they see the guy that like Batman interrogated in front of his family,
who is working for.
He's working as a security guy
for Wayne Enterprises.
And you
Bruce
find
got him a job.
Bruce got him a job, and the guy says to Nightwing and Robin, he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "You know what?" I was hanging out with the
that
wrong
night,
people.
yeah,
he
with
goes,
the-
"Batman changed my life around. He got me. He kind of scared me straight." He goes, and then Bruce Wayne got me a job and always remembers my name.
And would not have happened if had he not felt so guilty about losing Dick.
Yeah. And so the episode ends with the bat signal coming up, and then Robin turns to Dick. He goes, "You coming?" And then Dick goes, "Yeah." He goes, "It's about time."
Yeah.
And then and Tim smiles, and the implication is that Dick makes up with Bruce then.
Yeah.
We're
Makeup
coming.
Dick.
Makeup Dick. I got this online.
Oh my God, that's
$12.
Legit.
Yeah, I can make
$12
that.
hollow. That's pretty good.
I've seen that episode more than any other episode, I think.
Oh, me too. Yeah, she didn't even. Is she fitting this? Yeah.
But
Wow.
Batgirl's the only one that fits in my bat plane. You broke
I wish
my
I had
bat
my
plane.
thing right now.
The thing fits perfectly in here.
Batman the animated series. If you haven't watched it, it's on Max. Honestly, you could pick any 5 episodes on any platform, any of the seasons, and you're in for a treat. And it will make you go back into reading comics again. From my Bat family to yours, thank you, true believers, for following us along. Ooh, perfect timing because we about to all die in our batteries. I've been Troy Bond,
I've been Brent Birnbaum.
I've been Slater Harrison.
and we are the Bat Fam. Welcome to Secret Identity. I'm your host, Troy Bruce Wayne, financing this motherfucking podcast. Bond. I almost said Birnbaum. That would have been.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ooh, someone's going through an inferiority complex.
Going through an
Investors?
inferiority complex with the boy wonder, Brent Birnbaum.
What up?
And she is sitting down, but she is in no wheelchair. It is Slater Harrison, the Oracle.
Prestige worldwide.
Boats and hose.
There is today is probably our most requested thing ever to talk about. The most requested anything to talk about.
Yeah, I can't even come up with a joke because I'm a bad comic.
Gotta give the people what they want.
Because I'm a hack.
Batman the Animated Series debuting in 91?
91.
91 to
90. Oh, no, 92, I think.
92.
92
Not
to
too
90.
long after the Tim Burton movie.
Right, I think
Right.
92 to 95.
Yeah,